Welcome to Truckee Talks. I'm your host, Maya Schneider. And no, I'm not preparing for a hot date tonight. I'm getting ready for Halloween, and you should be too. And on today's show, we're going to be talking about some of the Halloween activities for kids in town. I'd like to introduce you to Shawna Nelson with the Truckee-Donner-Reckon Park District. Shawna, it's great to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, Shawna, before we get talking about Halloween, let's talk a little bit about what's going on at Reckon Park right now, especially for kids. What are people doing with their kids now that it's fall and it's getting a little cool out there?
Yeah, we are very busy. We have, I supervise primarily after-school programs and child care programs. We have preschool programs that run daily, Monday through Friday, 9 to 3 roughly. We have after-school programs that run at the community center and also at the Glenshire School now. And the program at the Glenshire School, it's our first year with that program, and it runs from 7:15 in the morning till 6 at night.
So that's a boon for Glenshire residents.
Yeah, it's terrific. So there's really pretty much care all day long down there for elementary age kids. It's a great location at the school. So.
And now tell me a little bit about the preschool. What kind of age requirements and other requirements do you have if somebody were interested in enrolling their preschooler?
Preschool kids we take over 2 years old, potty trained, through pre-kindergarten, so 4+, some end up being 5 before the year's out. We take the younger, the 2+ to the 3+ on Mondays and Wednesday mornings. We have a program for them, and Friday mornings actually, and they can go until 3 o'clock on Fridays. And then 3+, 3.5 to maybe 4.5 years, we have programs for them from 9 to 3 every day.
And what kind of activities would the kids be involved in?
There's arts and crafts, there's just a lot of socialization, learning how to share, how to take turns.
Oh,
That's
mine.
very important.
It's mine.
Yes, we do a lot of that. Learning basic games, how to follow instruction from a teacher, kind of some pre-kindergarten type activities, exposure to letters, numbers, reading, colors, things of that nature, nursery rhymes, stuff like that.
And what about the after-school programs? What's involved there?
They're primarily recreation-based. The Glenshire, because there's longer hours at the Glenshire program, there's about 6 hours in that day that's pretty much focused on kindergarten-age children. So those kids do have a little bit more time to do things a little more in depth. So there is still a little bit of an educational element to what they do with regard to maybe colors, again, letters, numbers. But primarily it's recreation-based, so there's games, we provide snack, we have use of fields indoors and outdoors at both the community center and at the Glenshire program. So the kids, they pretty much just come. We do a homework time for the older kids after school also. So there's a lot of things that the kids need to do after school. They need to get things out of their system, so we try to provide activities for that, so that when they get home, they can focus. It's kind of a good unwind
time for everybody.
Yes, they spend a lot of time in school sitting, so we like to let them do some running.
Get some of that energy
yes,
out.
Yes.
And that must be very helpful for all the two-worker families out there with mom and dad out working all day long. That's got to be a very helpful program. Do you know anything about the numbers that you have enrolled? How many kids you serve right now?
Yeah, we do. Let's see. At Glenshire, typically an average day is between, our enrollment for kindergarten kids is somewhere between 3 and 6 usually, maybe 8. So the ratio is really, really good there. We have room for a lot more kids at that hour. After school, from 3 o'clock on, our numbers get as high as 35 to 45, depending on the day and the different activities that kids have going on after school. Sometimes they have soccer, so they think with other activities going on, depending, our enrollment fluctuates. And then at the community center, again, during the kindergarten hours, our numbers are lower, usually under 10. And then from about 3:30 on there, we get anywhere from 35 kids to 45 kids, and then they just
that's a great service. I know a lot of people think of the Reckon Park District as rec and park. They think about sports and they think about our parks, regional park. I don't know how many people understand all of the different services you provide for families in terms of child care and after-school programs.
Yeah, it's terrific. It really is. I think it's a great benefit to have something like that in the community, and it's really reasonably priced, and especially, like I said, the Glenshire program right there at the school, it's just great. The kids don't have to get on a bus. They don't have to do anything. They just walk over to the playground.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, it's
okay,
nice.
so for information, you can call the Truckee-Donner-Reckon Park at 27720.
Very good.
Well, you'd
Yes.
think with all the phone calls to Steve Randall I
Yes.
made this summer, I'd be able to have that one memorized.
Well, that's good that you don't.
Yeah, right, probably. I think Leslie's glad about that. All right, so let's move on to Halloween. Halloween's coming. There's certainly a bite in the air. There's snow on the ground. The pumpkins are ready, and we've got our pumpkin here. Tell us about the Not So Haunted House. That's a tradition here in Truckee.
Yeah, this is my second year working at the Not So Haunted House. We've changed the format a little bit from kind of a storytelling format to really just kind of a really fun up atmosphere. We want to pretty much not have anything haunted in there at all.
So it's really a fun, more fantasy land
Yeah,
than haunted.
it's more of a, generally we're trying to just make it fun, and we're creating as much of a happy atmosphere as we can. Most of the kids that come through there are 5 and under, so so we really don't like to have anything scary at all. It's gonna, this year the theme will be a Candyland theme based up on the board game.
Oh, the game.
On the board game, so it'll be really fun. We're gonna have a lot of interactive type activities for the kids. Where they can search for things or do little types of activities, throwing a frisbee or putting together the gingerbread man, different kinds of things, searching for the candies, of course, that they'll get to find as they go through the house.
Do I get any sort of
the
hints or
king.
clues as to where some of the good candy might be stashed?
No way. No, it's too, no, I don't even know that yet. But I know, I told my staff today, we have to be sure that we don't eat all the candy
Before the day of the event. It's bad form.
Because, yeah, I know, it's hard. So, but yeah, so it's going to be based on the board game. Some of the characters from the board game, like Lord Licorice, who is the closest thing to a bad guy that I guess you can have in Candyland, will be there. But it really should just be kind of a fun, interactive kind of a adventure for the young ones to enjoy.
Now, if first of all, let's talk about age. You said most of the kids that go through there are under 5. Is there an age that kids can go through unescorted, or should they all be with an adult?
I would say they can go through unescorted as long as they're old enough to, maybe probably do it on their own. Most kids under 5 or preschool age children won't want to go without mom or dad.
Right.
We'll have tour guides that'll take each group through. We'll take groups, small groups, so probably anywhere between 4 and 8 in a group. So if a younger child wanted to go without mom or dad, it wouldn't be a problem. The staff could certainly take them through. And then as going through it without adults for kids 5 to 7, 8 years old, that's fine. We do get the first graders, some second graders that are just not quite ready for the haunted house experience yet that come through ours. So, so that should be, I would guess that's probably the age that you'd need to be to go through by yourself.
So the Not So Haunted House at the Truckee Community Center, and the dates for that are October 26th.
27th, I believe, 26th and 27th.
So that's a Thursday and Friday. So you can go on down to the rec center, and you'll be taken through, escorted through the Not So Haunted House.
Yes, so it should be fun.
Well, it sounds like a great
happy
theme.
person dressed in a candy outfit, hopefully.
Well, let's talk
piece of
about who
candy.
all those happy people are. I know it takes a number of people to put this event on. Are you looking for volunteers? Do you need assistance on the day of the event?
Yeah, volunteers would be terrific. Anybody willing to just, happily guide people through. We also have support from some local philanthropic groups that come in and they provide gifts for the community, the kids that participate or go through. They provide candy and apples as they leave. But yes, we can always use volunteers helping decorate, coming up with, anything, ideas, because we do have to create quite a bit to create this fantasy. It takes a lot of work. And so anybody who has that kind of talent, we really appreciate any input that they have.
Okay, so we're going to change the name of the show from Truckee Talks to Truckee Volunteers. It
Yes,
seems
please.
like every time we have the show we ask. But it's a great way to get the word out there, let people know, we could use some help down there at the rec center.
Yes,
So October
always.
26th, October 27th, Thursday and Friday.
In the evening.
And the time for that, now the first night, Thursday night is
6:30 to 8:30 on Thursday, and then we're going to go 6 to 8:30 on Friday.
And is there an optimal time to go through if you want to go through and avoid lines, or?
Boy, you know what? Usually later.
Okay.
7:30 last year. It was quieting down. The problem with that is a lot of the younger kids need to be getting ready for bed at that
I was
time.
going to say that.
So it's a hard
I'm putting my
time,
jammies
but
on right about
if
then.
you don't want to wait in line, that's usually better. But we get through pretty quickly, so hopefully no one will have to wait too terribly long.
Do kids usually go through in costume? Do they bring their own Halloween costumes?
Yeah, it's fun to see all the kids dressed up. So yeah, we encourage families to come down, or kids or whatever, all dressed up for the holiday.
And that's, again, we're talking about the not-so-haunted house. Of course, in the next segment, we're going to be talking about the haunted house and everything that goes on. It's great that we have the two separate events, and the not-so-haunted house is really, as you say, not a haunted house at all. It's just a great day for the kids, a great evening for the kids.
Yeah, so.
Shawna, it's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you
nice
for sharing
here.
this. Well, yeah, she was a wreck before we actually started rolling the cameras, but you did great.
Well, thank you.
All right, well, again, Not So Haunted House, October 26th, October 27th at the Community Rec Center. $2.
$2 admission
$2 per person admission, and this is good for little kids all the way up into age 7 or 8, or anybody that just doesn't want to go through the haunted house. It's going to be a lot of fun. And again, we're looking for volunteers, so if you want to go downtown and help out, that's a fun night to do as well. Stay tuned, because when we come back on Truckee Talks, we're going to be talking about the haunted house. We'll be back in just a minute. Welcome back to the show. We're talking about haunted houses, and in this segment we're going to talk about the very scary haunted house with none other than Tahoe Truckee High School's own Kevin Coleman. Kevin, it's great to have you on the show.
It's good to be here.
And your friend here would be?
Personal.
You never know what's going to happen, but
no,
you don't.
You really don't. But that's, as long as you don't aggravate them.
I don't want to get in between you and your gargoyle.
And you never put water on a gargoyle.
Never water a gargoyle.
Never. We'll put him aside just in case he leaps.
Put him on your side in case he leaps. Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
Now, I understand that you've been active with the haunted house now for, what, 2 years?
This is my second year.
So tell us about the haunted house. What goes on at the real deal?
It's a little scarier than the not-so-haunted house, unless you're a teen that walks into the not-so-haunted house. That's pretty scary. They're like, Candyland. But we're going to have some really neat things this year. We're training tour guides to do an excellent job of entertaining and safely directing people through, kind of taking a look for who belongs, who doesn't, so parents can get a little bit of an assist there. We've also got the idea that we can tone it down a little bit if we get a group of smaller kids that really want to try and prove themselves. But you can send the word in, and we'll have a little lighter touch.
Down.
Yeah, just so that they feel big.
Maybe come out with the rubber machete instead of the
something
real
like
one.
that. Yeah, no real blood. But so that's going to be going on. We're going to have some movie favorites. The kids are very excited about bringing some old horror classic standbys to life.
Oh,
which is exciting.
Any names you can drop here?
I won't drop names
yet.
I know who they are, but they're wonderful. We'll have, of course, the Truckee Donner Deli, an old standby favorite, the Donner Party Deli, and you know, of course, what that leads to.
Yeah, nothing but trouble as near as I can
Yeah,
tell.
but it's good eating.
Especially if you like meatloaf or spare ribs.
Oh, yeah, well, rump roast. Well, let's just stop at that, all right?
All right. Good for you, good for me, good for the audience.
Exactly.
How many kids do you think you'll get through the haunted house this year?
You know, we don't know. One of the things we ran into last year, the rec department very graciously turned it over to us and said it could be a great fundraiser for high school activities for the leadership class and also for my construction class people. And so we didn't know what to expect. And they said they'd done pretty well in the past. We'd raised the rates just a little bit to make it work for us coming in and giving all that time to it. And what we found, to our surprise, is about 200 kids showed up to work on it. And it kind of cut down on how many people paid to go in, but we're okay with that. It was great. And this year, homecoming got moved to that same week, and we thought, oh, God, what is going to happen with this? And So we called a real quick emergency meeting and said, who's interested in working on the haunted house? And we did it at lunchtime, and the first day we got about 60 kids. And when we polled them, how many of you are committed to doing homecoming floats that week? And it will be the night before homecoming, and you'll be,
Busy.
doing that last minute stuff.
Yeah.
3. So
Oh.
we're getting out the creepy people that don't always do homecoming. It's kind of neat.
Is there a special creepy class, or is there just a sort of a segment of creepies?
Well, I'd hate to say that, Truckee is a creepy high, but we have our people.
That's great.
Yeah.
That is super. So kids will show up. What age range do you think is appropriate for the haunted house?
It depends on the kid, of course. It's perfect for middle school and high school people. It's perfect for the adults that haven't grown up yet. And in our community, did you
Don't
hear that
know
squeaking
anybody
door?
like that. Yes, I heard the squeaky door just there.
It's wonderful. I think I better really tell the truth here. But, and we can take kids all the way down into that 6, 7, 8 range, and I think that would be appropriate. There's no satanic type thing going on. The kids are really sensitive to the idea that this is the traditional, just haunted house stuff, scary, creepy, that's it. They realize it's an extension of their school activities. And so they've been, last year, they were just phenomenal when it came to kind of safeguarding those lines and just making sure.
Community appropriate.
Yeah, totally community appropriate. And I was real proud of them for that. They didn't have, I didn't have to play I Spy with my little glass eye, they just did it, and they lived up to all the trust.
So what are you anticipating? You looking forward to this?
I'm thrilled because we got such good student help. And then Sasha Newman, who is a new teacher here this year, is taking over leadership from Larry Leatherman. Larry and I had done it last year. And Larry handed over the mantle to her this year and said, I'll step back graciously. And she's just taken it and run with it. And she's doing phenomenal work with their leadership people.
That's great.
And I'm fortunate I have a construction technologies class, and those kids are going to set it up and do the work of that, so it'll be good. But we expect a full house. It'll be fun.
And it will be the same nights as the Not So Haunted House, which is October 26th, October 27th, which is a Thursday and Friday, and again at the Rec Center. So you can show up at the Rec Center and you have one of 2 choices, or you can do both. You can go through the Not So Haunted House or the haunted house. How scary is the haunted house? I really need to know. Is this something I
For
can
you?
do? Yeah.
Over the top. I don't think you can handle it. That's a challenge.
That's a challenge. It
I
sounds
expect
like
to
it.
see you both evenings.
That was the white glove.
Now, if you want to get really frightened, we're offering a discount for middle school kids that are going to the dance on Friday night. We're opening up a half hour early for them, so they can enjoy. And if you want to do a double whammy, go to the haunted house and go to the middle school dance.
That would be more frightening for the middle school kids to see me at their dance than for me to be frightened, I think.
Could be.
I don't know what they'd do exactly with this one. Although I did show up at the middle school for graduation ceremony and realized that all of those kids were taller than I am, which scared me enough, frankly. So I think I will have to give it a shot this year. Now I'll ask you the same question I asked Shawna, which is, do you need help? Are you looking for volunteers?
We're looking for dead people. No, just kidding. We could use good help always. We had some excellent parent support last year. We'd love to have it. Mel Cohn from the school board came out and helped, and we'd love to invite the school board out. I don't think they'll be embarrassed. They'll be real pleased to see what's going on. Good things at Truckee High School.
They're on notice now to come on out and see what's going on with the kids
are.
at Truckee High School. Again, October 26th, October 27th. Remember, folks, it's Halloween. It's a time to have some fun and be festive and break out a little bit. So, October 26th, Thursday, October 27th, Friday, go on down to the Community Rec Center and join in the fun at the Candyland theme Not So Haunted House or the High School Haunted House. In either case, have a very safe and sane Halloween, and we'll see you next time on Truckee Talks.
And what do you got?
Thank you.